Hey pen pals, this is going to be the last video that I make about divorce in the Black. Let's talk about the bullshit. Shannan E. Johnson here, CEO of The Professional Pen, where we develop screenwriters from idea to pitch. Need help on your screenplay? Go to www.theprofessionalpen.com. Okay, so let's quickly get into it and quickly get out of it. A few people have sent me articles and the video of Keke Palmer interviewing Tyler Perry. And I'm not going to watch it, but I did read the articles and I just have one response to it. One of the things that he focused on that I saw, obviously it was a longer interview. Obviously they talked about more things. Obviously he went into more depth. I'm just going to focus on just this one part, the quote that's kind of taking the internet by storm, right? He focused in on why people feel that only certain Black stories should be told. Like, who are we to decide what Black stories should be told? And I agree with him. I totally agree with him. It has been very clear from the beginning of his career that he knows his audience. He knows what they enjoy watching and he knows how they will support him, right? Cool. If he would have just left it at that, I wouldn't even be making this video, right? I think the larger issue for me, I'm gonna speak for me, is not the stories you're telling. It's the way the stories are executed, right? From my point of view, filmmaker to filmmaker, artist to artist, my expectation is that the art should be getting better. Not subjectively, objectively better. If Divorce in the Black had been made by a young up-and-coming filmmaker, it would still have the same response to it, but not on the same level because there is a place to start from and then grow, right? But to start in a place like Diary of a Mad Black Woman, Medea's Family Reunion, Why Did I Get Married, The Family That Prays, and then decades later to be making things like Mea Culpa and Divorce in the Black, to me is a regression, not a progression. My expectation is that production value would have gotten better, that storytelling would have gotten better, that structure would be more understood, that I would be able to watch a film and at least call out the inciting incident, the midpoint, the climax, etc. So I think what he's hearing and what people are saying, there's a disconnect there. What he's hearing is you should only tell these kinds of stories. Now, with that being said, Black people are in a place right now where we're over Black trauma, so you can choose to read the room or not. But as an artist, you can make whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Make what you want. You are correct. Nobody can tell you what Black stories should be told. I think what he's missing, and not necessarily from his audience, because his audience doesn't care, which is why I said if he just would have said, hey, my audience likes it, I wouldn't be making this video. But to have to speak on it, and obviously he was being interviewed and therefore asked the question, but to have to speak on it means that you should also listen to what people are saying. People are not mad at you making movies about women getting beaten. That's not new. You didn't create that trope. There have been movies about trauma against women since the beginning of time, and there will always be. That's not the note. The note is tell a good story. Tell a story we can track, grow in the art. So as I've said before, whether I've written it or stated it out loud, you cannot hate on Mr. Perry for building an audience from the ground up that is loyal to him, who he understands and out of his own mouth has said has changed people's lives. I do not discount that at all. Respect, respect, respect as a businessman. When it comes to the art though, and he also said that he started making films so that he could care for his ailing mother, right? So it wasn't coming from a place of art. And even if you watch his documentary, he doesn't talk about getting into filmmaking because he had these dreams of being a filmmaker and it's the art. It was never that for him, which also for me would be okay if he would just say that. I'm not in it for structure. I'm in it for money. I'm not in it to tell a good story. I'm in it to tell a story that people will watch and I will make money on. Because there are plenty of people who are living by that creed in our industry. Okay, cool. Say that. Double down on that. Don't double down on people don't think these kinds of black stories should be told, because that's just not true. It's just not true. And if you're not a part of his audience, then he's not making it for you anyway. The only reason I watch at this point is so that we can have these conversations for those people who are wanting to learn, not because I think it's my job to critique him in particular. As you guys know, on this page, we will watch and critique anything, but it's always coming from a place of teaching screenwriters what's happening. It doesn't mean don't do it. It just means know why you're making that decision. Know why you're doing that. If you're choosing to say, you know what, I don't care anything about structure, then live in that. And don't be mad when people then critique your film for lack of structure. Know that you purposefully said, I don't care what an inciting incident is, I'm just gonna write. You know what I'm saying? Then do your thing. Do your thing. But to expect for people to just accept it and not have an opinion, especially in the times of social media, is just ridiculous, y'all. It's ridiculous. So for those of you who care, happy writing. The professional pen. The